So this is our review of
Inglourious Basterds.
I was going to say Pulp Fiction. I'm just... Whoa.
I thought it was a great film. 2 thumbs up as far as being great.
I think I'd give 1.5. Just because it was so long. Like, it didn't... Like you were just saying, it didn't feel that long, but at the same time, it felt that long.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, as dreadfully long as Unbroken felt.
True.
But it is 1:15 in the morning. So, I thought that the story was really cool, and the way that they cut it up into those 5 sections and, like, bounce back and forth between the 2 characters. We were talking to Mary and Isabel earlier, and one of them said that they didn't think that it was lined up very well, but I actually really liked it, and then it all came together in the end. I thought that was a really cool way to do the plot.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, the film itself, like, because of the way it was presented, like, with, like, the 3 different 3-ish different stories, kind of, it, like, really brought into question, like, what is considered, like, immoral during war, you know, like,
yeah.
Because, like, I mean, like, obviously Nazis are bad, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, I feel like, was she, I don't even know her name.
Shoshana?
Yeah, like, was she right in mass killing people? Like, basically emulating, like, the same way they're killing the Jewish people in gas chambers. Like, that's what I kind of equated it to.
So, I had a similar thought, but I think that the filmmakers remedied that by having the premiere go from the Ritz to there, because they said, like, a couple of times, it's just going to be high command, it's just going to be German soldiers, German people. We're not going to let anybody in that isn't going to love this film of a German war hero.
Yeah.
But if it had been in the Ritz, and it was also just, like, French people who were able to get in, then I think that, like, for protection, like, you know, status, or, like, trying to, you know, get in better with the Germans, because that's the situation that they were living in. I think it is a different situation.
Yeah.
That we knew that it was pretty much, like, 98% Nazis. Like, straight up Nazi believing.
Well, yeah, but, like, I'm saying, like, it, like, I feel like, the film raises the question of, like, what is actually considered moral or not. Because, like, from our standpoint, like, that, like, it's not, I feel like it wouldn't be moral per se, but at the same time, like, Nazis are bad. So, like, you know, like, it kind of just, like, draws, like, you know, like, draws you into this, like, gray area of, like, war, you know? Because, like, in a normal situation, like, minus the whole war situation, if she just, like, locked everyone up and, like, that would be, like, a mass murder, you know? But, like, since it's war, since, like, they are the enemy, like, it's okay.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because if you try to put it in, like, right now, like, if someone had, like, a neo-Nazi, like, white supremacist screening, and then torch them all, I think that would be fuzzier than this situation in this movie during this war.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting.
So I think the film definitely did a very good job in, like, portraying the war in, like, a more, I guess, artistic sense. Like, it was, like, a war film, but it wasn't straight up, like, battle, like, cut and dry, like, this, you know, like, this is bad, this is not.
Yeah. I thought that the editing, especially in this movie, was amazing, and the soundtrack and the way that they used it. One of the moments that comes to mind, like, that just, like, it didn't feel like it made sense, but it was, like, really interesting, where they introduced the translator woman and the cheetah, and then there's just like this really odd cut to like a sex scene.
Yeah.
But that like 3 seconds told us what we needed to know about those characters that we don't really learn that much about.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. And then later, during the climax, there was like a lot of stuff happening in the theater, and the music was really loud, and it was like really crazy, and then they cut pretty suddenly to the Colonel on the phone.
Yeah.
And the music stopped, and we were in a different place with a different energy, and it was just like, I feel like stuff like that happened a lot, where the editing transported you to a different place really suddenly, really effectively.
Yeah, no, that was definitely effective. I feel like they used music and like the soundtrack pretty effectively, but at the same time I felt like, especially in the beginning of the movie, it made it seem more like over dramatic. At least to me, like at some points, like I felt like they just took like these like sound pieces that were like characteristic of like certain like movie genres or archetypes and like kind of just threw it in there to like make it more dramatic. Like at one point it was more like westerny music, and like literally almost throughout this whole film I was like, wow, like this is literally like a western like cowboy movie, you know, like guy like comes into the bar, like the doors smash open and they're like, oh, you know, like like the guy turns around from the bar. I was like, this is literally like a western movie just like transported into like Nazi Germany, World War II, or like France, World War II.
Right. That's the definitely music being used to just drive up the drama.
Mm-hmm.
There was the scene where the Colonel is sitting down with Shoshana, and it's the first time that they interact after, you know, he kills her family.
Yeah.
The music was building up, and our video paused, and I was like, I really feel like something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
That it didn't.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't, I guess it, like, did, they wanted us to feel like something was going to happen, and that it didn't. Mm-hmm. So then that just, like, shows how much they were using music to do that they were able to, like, trick me.
True, that's true.
Because I feel like it never came out of that. He never even actually accused her of being the Jewish girl that he was looking for. But the milk thing told us that he did know.
Yeah, that he knew.
But then nothing actually happened.
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, I'm just, like, really quick, one last thing about the music, too. Because, like, I feel like in the beginning of the movie, they used it a lot. Mm-hmm. And then, like, just at a certain point in the middle of the film, like, I felt like there was no music at all. Like, it was very, like, heavily focused on dialogue and, like other cinematic elements. And then towards the end of the film, it kind of, like, hyped up with the music again.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. I was, like, confused, though, like, he wasn't actually good then. Like, he was the antagonist?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he knew that, at that point, near the end, he knew that the Germans weren't going to win.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happened that night, he knew the Germans weren't going to win, but he knew that he could frame himself as someone that helped
guy.
The Allies win.
Okay, that makes sense.
So he just sort of did it, but...
Uh-huh.
I feel like we've been talking for almost 9 minutes. I want to say the last thing that I want to say, kind of a small point. I was upset when Shoshana died by being shot by a Nazi, but then it was really cool that after the screen burned down, that her projection, her face was in the smoke, because the fact that she was dead at that point was like literally just like a spooky, ghostly figure laughing at the Nazis, like trying to get out, was awesome. I thought that was like one of the most incredible parts of this movie is her, what seemed like her ghost laughing at all of those people.
True. Yeah. Also, a quick thing on illusions. A lot of them were like, we even said as soon as she like put her foot up there, like on the guy's lap, and he was like, "Oh, reach into my purse," and like she whips out the shoe. I was like, okay, this is gonna be like a if the shoe fits situation.
Yeah. And
like you even said like, oh, this is as soon as you saw it, you were like, oh my god, it's an illusion, like it's Cinderella.
Look, I caught it.
And then he like straight up said, oh, like what's the expression? Like if the shoe fits. And then, like, he went back to that later when they were, like, Brad Pitt and the other dude were, like, sitting at the table with him. He was like, what's the expression about shoes and feet? You know, like, so I feel like most illusions were, like, very, very obvious. Funny, but, like, very obvious, you know? So I feel like they could have done a better job at just, like, subverting them. I don't even know if that's a word. Just not making them so obvious.
Maybe there were more.
Yeah.
I just didn't catch them because
I'm not well versed on cinematography.
I'm not well versed on much.
But yeah.
I'm well versed on Disney princesses. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Alright. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.